Thank you, Dick. Good evening. I'm pleased to have this opportunity to be with all of you this evening. My name is Matt Thompson. I am an environmental engineer with the city's Public Works Department. I am responsible for the management of the city's wastewater system, and I am a part of a team that is now developing a new recycled water system. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the wastewater system, just an overview. So our wastewater system consists of two big parts. Unlike the water system, instead of distributing water out into the community, we collect wastewater that you all generate in your homes and your businesses. And the main function of this collection system is to basically keep this sewage separated from the drinking water system. So we have about 140 miles of sewer pipes, basically in every street in town. We have sewage pump stations in low parts of town. We have 14 of those that lift the sewage up and keep it flowing by gravity. And what it does is it delivers this wastewater to a wastewater treatment plant at the north end of town. Some of you may have driven by it on the 101. As you head out towards San Miguel, it's right there on the right between the 101 and the Salinas River. Now, I want to say this before I move into treatment. We manage the wastewater system very similar to the water system. We have master plans, we have rate studies, we collect monthly sewer bills along with your water bills to bring in revenue to that. So you can kind of imagine it basically mirrors how Christopher's group manages the water system. So I won't delve into detail, just know that it's very similar. Okay? There's a significant investment in infrastructure. The treatment of wastewater in the city is, this wastewater treatment facility is likely the largest and one of the most complex facilities that we have. And until about 2015, the city had a lot of problems with this wastewater treatment plant. It was overloaded, it was antiquated, and we weren't doing the best job treating this water before we released it to the Salinas River. And so, thanks to the excellent support of the city's many ratepayers, through a years-long effort, we were able to completely upgrade the city's wastewater treatment plant. And so in 2016, we completed what is essentially a brand new wastewater treatment plant. This is one of the highest performance and most energy efficient treatment plants of its kind in the Central Coast region. But most importantly, this thing was sized with the capacity to serve this community for the next 30 to 40 years. What this means is as long as we take good care of this thing, we have plenty of room for the additional population growth that is planned in this community. And so what these systems collectively do to get together is this is a sample, don't be too grossed out, this is a sample of typical raw wastewater. This is what's flowing through the city streets. In short, we basically turn this into this. This is final effluent, we call it. This is a sample of the wastewater that was coming out of the wastewater treatment plant just last night. So this is a sample taken this morning. You can see it's pretty good quality stuff, right? This stuff does not have any major pollutants. It doesn't have any bacteria in it. If kids are swimming in the Salinas River downstream of the discharge, we can be assured that they're not going to get sick. It basically just contains small amounts of salt. That's about it. We removed essentially every other pollutant. And so how do we do this? It's not magic. It's through a significant investment in infrastructure. And this is what our wastewater treatment plant looks like. We're going to give you a quick overview. This is some drone footage. That's the Traditions neighborhood in River Oaks, just representative. We collect the sewage and we pump it across the Salinas River from the east side of town, where it's joined by flow from the west side of town. And then this is a quick tour through the treatment plant. The facilities on the right are where we remove trash. The facilities on the left are some ponds to remove the heavy stuff. We then pump it up and into this process. It's a biological process we call biological nutrient removal. After that, the wastewater then flows through another set of pond-like structures to settle out the residual waste. After that, the water is pretty clear. The water then flows to this structure where it's disinfected with chlorine. It then flows out this creek-like channel to the Salinas River. That's basically the wastewater treatment plant. That is a significant investment by the city. The project that we did to complete the wastewater treatment plant upgrade cost $47.2 million, one of the largest, what we call capital improvement projects in the city's long history. So this is the kind of infrastructure that your sewer rates help to pay for. All right, but we're not done yet. And the reason that we're not done is because this treated wastewater, for 100 years now, the city has always just put it into the Salinas River. We're wasting it into the Salinas River. And that's not the highest and best use of this water. Now that we have treated this water to the point that it's safe, you guys know that we have an incredible amount of demand for irrigation water out in East Paso Robles. So the old model was to just find all these water supplies that Christopher described, and we just wasted it to the Salinas River. We waste presently on the order of 2.5 million gallons per day. And so to put that in perspective, a typical football stadium, if you were to fill the bottom of a typical football stadium, we would fill that to a depth of 45 feet every single day. That's a lot of water, 365 days a year. You can imagine over time, that adds up to roughly about 3,000 acre feet of water per year. It's really a shame to be wasting this to the Salinas River. So the new model is to treat this so that it's perfectly safe for irrigation and then move it out into East Paso Robles, where we can use it to irrigate golf courses, sports parks like Barney Schwartz Park. There's a lot of irrigation demand out in East Paso Robles. And if we can get this water out into East Paso Robles, we can reduce how much water people pump out of the ground. And what this will do, this will help to protect the city's basin wells, as Christopher described earlier. It's part of the solution to this problem of declining groundwater elevations. So this is a conceptual model of the recycled water distribution system. I want to tell you a little bit about the tertiary treatment facilities. Tertiary means a third treatment step. This is a project that is presently under construction and will be completed in January of this 2019. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, which is already pretty darn clean. This is what's coming out of the wastewater treatment plant. We're going to treat it like a new water supply. And we're going to run it through what is effectively the equivalent of a water treatment plant. And in Paso Robles, we're going to do that with some cloth filters. That's going to get the little particles that might be in the water, so there's really clear water. And then we're going to disinfect it with really powerful ultraviolet light. That's going to deactivate all of the pathogens in this water. So it's essentially no bacteria in this water. The idea is that when we send it out and we use it to irrigate things like sports parks, we don't have to be concerned that it's going to make anybody sick. In fact, this is not new in California. Recycled water has been produced and used in California for over 30 years. It's been used to irrigate crops throughout California. And with those many decades of experience, it's proven to be safe. It really makes sense to use treated wastewater for irrigation instead of using potable water. All right? And then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a recycled water pond and pump station at the wastewater treatment plant to facilitate the delivery of this water via pumps out to East Paso. Here's what it looks like. This is the project that is presently under construction. Just an overview. We're going to turn some old clarifiers into flow equalization basins. What these basins do is they take the fluctuating flow of wastewater and they even it out, and that makes the downstream treatment processes run very nice and efficient and even. After flow equalization, the water is going to flow down by gravity through some cloth filtration. After cloth filtration, water will again flow through ultraviolet light disinfection channels, and then from there will flow by gravity down to our storage pond and pump station. So at this point, we're going to turn briefly towards the city's management of stormwater. But before we do that, I would like to personally thank all of you for your support via your payment of monthly sewer bills for the systems. Without it, the city of Paso Robles would not enjoy the modern and advanced water and wastewater systems that we have that I believe contribute to Paso's very good quality of life. So with that, I'd like to invite David Licaro.